I forgot the light, but I think we should be okay. Yeah, there we go. Self-lighting. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Tuesday afternoon of Spies and Soldiers of Fortune. Yes, it's time for our Get Smart and A-Team reviews for Tuesday. 2 episodes of each show that we love so much here at MikeySuzeFour. And by the way, Gorilla, yesterday, just after 2 p.m. Eastern Time, it did reach 91 degrees Fahrenheit, because, I don't believe in that Celsius BS. And the heat index was over 90. Well, according to Canada, it's a different humidex thing, but it was high. It was high enough. So there you go, Gorilla. You happy now? Yeah, we went through it. It's been going like that for the past few weeks, off and on. One day we reached 90. Yesterday, 91 was our highest. Another day we reached 89. So yeah, we've had those instances where the heat, the humidity, yeah, they're close. They run very close. So I was not happy yesterday. Okay. And then there's other things, but we'll talk about that later tonight. Hopefully, at your cigar lounge without the you know who. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. Okay, so let's get to it. Before we do, just to let you know that for now, after I finish all 4 of these shows, then that's when I'll go into planning for and getting ready to do those mystery shows, those live streams. And they will be just live streams, they won't be webcams, hopefully. Um, as long as my Cosme works for me and I have the free account, as long as it works for me, we can show mysteries of any kind. I can pick and choose whoever I want for for a panelist as a co-host, so that they can watch it with me. You guys and gals can watch it in the chat, and then comment on it in the chat there while me and the co-host talk about the specific mystery that applies to us. And there'll be an eclectic uh, group that I already know in Facebook, and I've already asked a few of them. They said, "Sure, that sounds good." So when we get to the mysteries, then I'll start notifying you folks um, in the JAS streams that I do, by myself, to let you know what's going on. So yeah, as soon as we get to that. But for now, I want to finish all 4 shows. Red Dwarf is almost done. TOS still has another, season and a half to go. Uh, so I'm trying to get that done. We're already on season 2 now of Get Smart, so we're doing the first 2 episodes of that today, and then on 18 we're on season 4, and we're almost done. After we covered the 3, you know, episodes, the trial, which I want to do with Jay Aldridge specifically, so that we can host it together, just for those 3 episodes, and um, then there's only season 5, then we're done. So that's what we're trying to get finished here first at MikeySuzeFour, however long it takes until we get all 4 shows done, and then we can get into the mysteries. So everything that we promised to with the mysteries, we will get there. Okay, I'm not sure when yet, but we will get there. I know that you guys voted on that earlier this year, and we said okay, awesome. So when we get through all of our pop culture shows I'm doing this year, then we'll get into the mystery part. So just look forward to that. Remember, hit the like button today on this episode if you like it. Don't forget to hit subscribe. We have 279 wonderful family subscriber members. Remember, they're more than subscribers to us. They're a family members, a community. We have 279. We're only 21 away from 300. When we get to that, we will do a live stream to celebrate the 300 family sub members. Okay. And also remember to share this with your friends and family and acquaintances. And last but not least, remember, hit that notification bell to notify everyone about, when the upcoming, so it'll notify you when you hit it as on. Remember, it'll say notify me. So when you type or press it one time and it says notification on, it'll let you know when we get these future podcasts, live streams, interviews, shows I might be doing in the fall, or we would do any kind of live stream. So Hello, Jeff B. Hail, Mikey. Jeff B is the first in the box today, so you get the grand prize there, Jeff. You get to be number one. Yep, Jeff B. Thank you for coming today. Okay, so in between when I do Get Smart and 18, remember in between I'll do that awesome monologue by John Ashley, rest in peace, who was the narrator and did it for the 18 for every single episode. So yeah, make sure you get a chance to be ready for that, for me to say that again to all of you. And my favorite little, yeah. Okay, and we got 2 likes, awesome, and we do have Jeff in the box. Thank you, Jeff. All right, so let's get started with Get Smart Season 2, Episodes 1 and Episode 2. Episodes 1 and 2. Let's see. Okay, the first one is called Anatomy of a Lover. This came out on Saturday, September 17th of 1966, about 5 days before I turned the age of 1. Showing you how far back that is. Chaos uses Jaime as a robotic assassin against the chief. That got an 8.2 out of 10. 231 people have seen it. So, yes, I agree with that assessment. Also, episode 2 is called Strike While the Agent is Hot. And that came out the following weekend, Saturday, September 24th, 1966, 2 days after I turned 1. And Max inherits the position of union negotiator between agents and control. That got a 7.9 out of 10. So right there at a B level, and 201 people have seen it. So yes, I agreed with both of these grades, and I gave it a B on each episode. Next week is going to be one of our first straight up A episodes. It's called A Spy for a Spy, but I'll talk about that later on. So, okay. So let's take a look at Anatomy of a Lover first. All right. And let's see. This was directed by Bruce Bilson, and along with the writers Mel Brooks and Buck Henry, Gary Clark, who spells it with an E at the end, Clarke, were the writers for this episode. And of course, the usual 3 characters: Don Adams as Maxwell Smart, Barbara Feldon as Agent 99, and Edward Platt as Chief. Also, you have Dick Gautier, who occasionally appears as Jaime the Robot, and we talked about him already. Let's see. And see if there was any other people that showed up. No. Okay. But there is one man I think we might have talked about, but we'll talk about him again. His name was King Moody, and he played Kirsch. But I think he also was Siegfried's sidekick for Chaos. So we'll talk on that. And then there's Laurel Goodwin, who played Phoebe in this episode. So we will take a look at both of them after we go through the trivia and so on. All right, so let's take a look at trivia. Okay. Yes, King Moody would later play a recurring character, Chaos henchman Starker. And remember Bernie Coppell, the late Bernie Coppell, or he may still be alive, I don't know, but he played Siegfried, his boss. So, Starker, yes. All right. That was the only one I saw for trivia. Okay, let's take a look at goofs. Okay, and it looks like 2, 3. We got 4. Okay, that's not bad. All right. In continuity, during the opening scene after Jaime nearly kills the chief, Max is alternately standing parallel to the chief and 99 alongside the bookshelf in the medium shots, and then turned toward or facing them when he is shown in close-ups. Okay. Factual errors. Max thinks Jaime runs on AC battery, and he says that he'll plug him into DC and see what happens. He then plugs Jaime into a receptacle which provides AC, not DC. Also, if Jaime runs on batteries, he runs on DC. It would have made more sense if Max had said, I think he's DC, but I'll plug him into AC and see what happens, as opposed to the other way around. The close shot of the bookshelf the chief stands next to in the opening scene while trying to fend off Jaime reveals that several of the blue books on the shelf, especially the first four on the left end of the shelf, with the horse figurine, and several of the books to the right of that figurine are recognizably California statute books published by the West Publishing Company. A secret spy organization in Washington, D.C. should not have had California law books on its chief's bookshelf, but since the series was actually filmed in California, these books were undoubtedly easier to obtain to fill in the shelf. Alrighty. And then we have character error. When Jaime is first in the chief's office, Max stops him and says, "I'm going to short circuit his wiring." He then plugs Jaime in. This would actually be surging, not short circuiting. Okay. And let's see. No soundtracks, of course. All right. And remember, most of the filming location was all done at Desilu, or at Paramount Studios. Not Desilu, sorry. Paramount Studios there in Hollywood, California. All right. Okay, then. Let's see. All right, so let's take a look at King Moody and Laurel Goodwin. So we'll look at Laurel first, ladies first. Okay, we did lose the Miss Laurel Goodwin in 2022. She was born August 11th, 1942. She died February 25th, 2022, at the age of 79. One of the best Elvis Presley movies she's known for was in 1962 when she was only 20, called Girls, Girls, Girls. Okay. Yeah, and that's what it shows right here. Born in 1942 in Wichita, Kansas, Laurel Goodwin was a child model and made her film debut in Girls, Girls, Girls opposite Elvis in 1962. She only made a few more movies, but appeared in many TV series, and she was in the pilot. That's right, Star Trek The Cage, 1965, which has an actual copyright date of 1964 for the Star Trek 66 TV series. This was part of a 2-hour show, Star Trek The Menagerie Part 2, which also had the parts of The Cage in flashback and was finally aired in its entirety in 1986. And she married in 1971. Okay. In Girls, 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 she was Laurel Dodge there in 62. And she was Yeoman J.M. Colt in the very first episode, Season 1, Episode 0, The Cage, in 1966 from Star Trek. And, of course, she was in this Get Smart episode as Phoebe. And she was a producer in 1983 on the movie Stroker Ace. Oh, cool. The last thing she worked on, according to IMDb background, was 1978. She did an episode of a TV miniseries called The Dane Curse, Dain, and she played Lily Dane Leggett. Okay, that was her character in that movie, TV series. Cool. Alrighty then. So that was Laurel Goodwin. Yeah, so if you see her in this episode and say, "Oh wait, she was in Star Trek," that's right. She was in the very first one, The Cage, with the different Pike running it instead of Kirk. So yes. All right, King Moody. Let's see. All right, unfortunately, we did lose King Moody in 2001. He was born December 6th, 1929, in New York City, New York. He died February 7th, 2001, in Tarzana, Los Angeles, California. He was age of 71. He was an actor known for Teenagers from Outer Space in 1959. Quantum Leap, he was on that series in 1989, and of course, Get Smart. He was married to Jacqueline L. Larson and Rachel Rosenthal. So he was married twice. All right. In Teenagers from Outer Space, he was the spacecraft captain. And in that, he used his full name, Robert King Moody. And then in Quantum Leap, he was in Season 2, Episode 1 in 1989 called Honeymoon Express, which went back to April 27th, 1960. He played a Southern senator in that episode. All right. And of course, in Get Smart, he played this person Kirsch in this episode. He also played a chaos scientist in a few other episodes, but he is best known for playing Siegfried's assistant Starker in the series. And he appeared in a total of 10 episodes from 66 to 69. And then he did come back. He came back in the TV movie Get Smart Again in 1989 as Starker. Yeah, that's fun. Oh, yeah, by the way, when we finish with the Get Smart series, we will go over the brief 6 episodes that Fox did, which featured Andy Dick in it, yeah, as his son. So we'll go over those, and we'll go over the TV movies, The Naked Bomb, and the Get Smart Again. So, yes, we will go through those two. Okay. Yeah, I promise we're going to try to get all things Get Smart by the time we're done. All right. And so the last thing that he actually worked on was called The Nut House. He played a character named Victor Kaplan. It was a movie that came out in 1992. All right, cool. So that was the mini bio of King Moody. He worked on he was an actor and soundtrack. And then Laurel was an actress, but like I said, she was also a producer. So that takes care of those two in that episode. Alrighty. Now we'll go to the next episode, Season 2, Episode 2, which is called Strike While the Agent is Hot. And let's see. Whoa! Before we do that, let's get to the chat. Wow. Hey, Jeff B., you didn't tell me you were bringing a party. But that's great. Thank you. Well, that's true. Jeff B says the Grand Poobah #1. Well, I'm shaped like Fred Flintstone. That's cool. Roger Blair. Hello, Roger Blair. Welcome, welcome. Howdy, Mikey, Jeff, and everyone. Kronos. Hey, Kronos. Yay. Kronos and Max. Hello, Kronos. Hey, Mikey. I'll be lurking. Cool. Very cool. Thank you, sir. Jeff B says hail to Roger and Kronos. Roger says, hey, Kronos. Let's see. Kronos says, I can't lurk with having to say hello. Hey, Jeff. Kronos says, hey, Roger. Kronos says, still have the crazy train in my brain. Yes, sir, you will for a while. Yeah. Unfortunate about Ozzy. Yeah. Kage Noctum Gaming. Good morning, my friend. Good morning, Kage. Yep, Jeff says earworms are the worst. At least it's a good tune, Kronos. Absolutely. Star Trek 2. Yeah, absolutely. Kronos says Khan was annoying. Yes. And Jeff B says, hail Kage. And Kronos says, I'm in a Matrix cage. Yeah. And Kronos says, squirrel, squirrel, squirrels. Roger says there was at least 3 different versions of Khan. Yes. Kronos says, I do miss Enterprise, but I'm not naked. I had the AC on. Kronos says, the chat is bored. And rock on. Thank you, Kronos. Kage says, hey, Jeff. Kage says, hey, Kronos. Roger says, it's a peanut butter and jelly time party. Peanut butter jelly time. Yeah, right. Like Brian from Griffin from the Family Guy, right? Kage says, hey, Roger. Kronos says, hey, Kage Noctum Gaming. And Roger says, hey, Kage. That is, and where it's at, yeah, I got two tickets and a microphone. Yeah, right, Kronos? Oh, boy. Oh, wow, this is great, guys. Yeah, before Family Guy, right, where it's at. Yeah, absolutely. We got 6 likes and we got 4 people watching. Very cool. That's awesome, guys. Thank you so much. All right, so let's talk about Strike While the Agent is Hot. This was directed by Gary Nelson. And along with Brooks and Henry, Bud Grossman was the third writer on this episode. And like I said, the usual cast of characters. Let's see. We're going to take a look. Yeah, we're going to take a look at two people. One is Dino Natali, who played Chaos Agent number 1. And we'll look at Alan Dexter, who plays Chaos Agent number 2. That makes sense. All right, we'll look at them after this information. So let's see here. Okay. Now, in this episode, Barbara Filden provides the voice of the operator and the PA announcer. And the sign that Max carries for the agents going on strike is written in code. It reads, "Would you believe?" written backwards. Let's see. How would I say it? Evi Leb, Yoy Delu. That's how it would be backwards. The title is based on the old idiom, strike while the iron is hot, dealing with the work of blacksmiths or some metalworking industries. So I get it, strike while the agent is hot. That makes total sense. All right, let's look at the goofs here. All right. And it looks like we have 3 of each, or 1 of each, 3 of them. Factual error is when Max has his protest sign in code, where "would you believe" has each word spelled backwards. The word "believe" is misspelled backwards. Aha! See, that's when they could have used Mikey as the spell checker freak show. I would have helped them out. But of course, I wasn't born. I wasn't there back then because I was only 1 year old. So, what could I do? Revealing mistakes. Just before Max puts the contract in his jacket in the wider shot, he moves the pen from his left hand to his right hand. In the closer shot, Max is no longer holding a pen in his right hand. Okay, and then we're looking at character error. Smart reveals that he knew that the Chaos Agent's gun was empty because he identifies it as a Luger, which he says only holds 6 rounds. The weapon he takes from the agent is actually a Walther P-38. In either case, both weapons, like most semi-automatics, have 8-round magazines. So he messed that up pretty well. Alrighty. All right, I don't see any soundtracks or crazy credits. As you know, I don't do quotes anymore. I just don't have the voice for it. Let's see here. But as you know, this was again filmed at Paramount Studios in Hollywood. All right, so let's take a look at the 2 persons I mentioned in the cast and crew for mini biographies. First one is Dino Natali. Okay. And Dino Natali is still alive, believe it or not. He was born in my month, September 19th, 1931. So, according to IMDb, he right now is 93 years of age, but he'll turn 94 if he makes it. And he was born in my city, September 19th, 1931, in San Francisco, California. He is an actor known for Get Smart in 65, Kojak in 1973, and Love at First Bite in 1979. That's so cool. Alrighty. And let's see. So this one episode, Chaos Agent number 1, in 1979, in the movie Love at First Bite, he was the man outside Castle. Then in the TV series Kojak in 1978, he was in one episode. He played the character of Moss, and it was season 5, episode 16, the captain's brother's wife. And then and that was in 78, 79. And then the Harvey Korman show in 1977, he was just an actor in that one. And that was the pilot episode, season 1, episode 1, that he appeared in. Very cool. And the last thing so far that he's worked on, well, probably the last thing he worked on, and then it went into retirement. He worked on a TV series called Joe Bash, one episode in 1986, where he played character Angelo. So cool. So Dino Natali. Yeah, those Italians live pretty long, don't they? Alrighty. Next we have Alan Dexter, who played the Chaos Agent number 2. Okay, unfortunately, we did lose Alan in 1983. He was an actor. He also worked on some soundtrack. He was born October 21st, 1918, in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He was an actor known for Paint Your Wagon in 1969 movie, Gable and Lombard in 1976, and Public Defender way back in 1954. He was married to one person, Sarah E. Ufford, and he died on 19 December 1983 in Oxnard, California. He was the age of 65. And in Paint Your Wagon in 69, he was the parson. In Gable and Lombard in 1976, he played Sheriff Ellis. He was in Public Defender. He was in 3 episodes. He played Harry Riggs, Joe Harris, and Joe Kelly in 1954 to 55. And in 1960, it says he was in 1 episode of The Twilight Zone where he played Beasley, and that was in season 1, episode 35, The Mighty Casey. Nice. So that'll be good when we get to that. All right. The last thing he worked on, he was a cowboy in 1978 in a movie called Coming Attractions. Huh, cool. Oh, and also says in 1976, he was in a TV miniseries, The Dog Owner, in a movie called series called Helter Skelter. Was that based on the Beatles song? I don't know. That's kind of one of those things where I'm not quite sure. But I'd like to think so. But anyway. Okay. So that takes care of our 2 episode review. We'll take a little break here as we get to the A team. So let's go ahead and type that in so we can get those 2 episodes for the A team all set up. And then we'll take a look at the chat again, see what you folks are saying. There we go. There we go. Okay, so like I said, we are in deeply into season 4 of the A Team right now. So we're almost there. We're getting to the trial, which covers 3 episodes. Like I said, I'd like to have my friend Jay Aldridge to help me out on that, so we can talk about those 3 episodes. They were some of the best episodes of the entire series, believe it or not. They all got A's from me. Every single part, all 3 parts. Okay. So the next 2 episodes here for the A Team, one was called Season 4, Episode 17, Waiting for Insane Wayne. I have to make sure I say it right. It got a 7.0 out of 10 from 293 people that have watched it. So a C grade. I agree with that. And then the following episode at 18 was called The Duke of Whispering Pines. That got a 6.9 out of 10 from 272 people. The first episode came out Tuesday, February 18th, 1986. And then the following week, the other episode came out Tuesday, February 25th, 1986. So, yes, I agree with most of the IMDb fans. Yeah, I would say both these episodes earned at least a C grade. So, all right. So before we get into those, let's get into. It looks like the Chronos show and Jeff B. All righty. Okay. Okay, so we'll go back here to where Kage came in. Hey, Roger. Chronos says, hey, Kage Noctum Gaming. Roger said hello to Kage. And Chrono said where it's at, and this was before Family Guy. Chrono says someone named Chaos. What could go wrong? Jeppy says I want to believe, and Chrono says the X Files, and Jeppy is happily winking his eye there. Yeah, Chrono says Scully is hot. Tis good to be alive. I'm just reading on from Chronos here. He says, I can act. I have to eat and have word to do. Later, taters. Work to do. Okay, work. Yes. Jeff B says, "Be well, Kronos. Be well." I still don't know what the clamshells are for. I pity the fool. Yes, I need to die for a time. All right, Kronos. Well, Kronos and Max. Uh, yeah, they're a great guy, a great pair together. Max, of course, is Maximilian the robot. I like to make fun because Kronos, it's like his sidekick from the, Disney's The Black Hole back in 1979, 2 years after Star Wars came out. Great movie, by the way. Has Roddy McDowell as a robot droid, and yeah, it's kind of a voice of one of the droids. It's kind of cool. Yeah, rock on, Kronos. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Kronos. And you earned your stripes today. You earned your top fans points. Yeah, I still am trying to figure that out, guys and girls. Don't know what that means, top fans. But hey, if it means something positive for you, go for it, right? Um, we have 6 likes. We still have 4 people watching. That is awesome. That is awesome. Okay, so let me do a couple check marks here. Da, da, da. All right. So before we begin, as we always begin, every 18, we go to the opening monologue, which lasted till I believe season 5. I mentioned before, I think it was almost every episode, or about every episode, but it wasn't actually. I don't believe John Ashley was used in season five's episodes when they went on, after the 3 episode trial. We'll get to that. We'll see if that's true. But anyway, quoting John Ashley, the narrator of the show, rest in peace. In 1972, a crack commando unit was sent to prison by a military court for a crime they didn't commit. These men promptly escaped from a maximum security stockade to the LA Underground. Today, still surviving and still wanted by the government as soldiers of fortune. They survive as soldiers of fortune, and if you have a problem, and if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you can hire the A team. Dun, 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 dun. I could probably do it with the bell, but my wife is asleep. Okay, so I know I kind of messed up that monologue a little bit at the beginning. I'll try to read it exactly as is next time. I when I get into the swing, this is the day of the week. It used to be Thursday, but now this is the day of the week I enjoy because I can get into my A team persona because I am Hallie Man Murdoch. I'm nuts. Yep. Yep. It says on this ring right here, right there, if I can show it to you right up here, it says I'm my wife's weirdo and she's my crazy. There you go. Alrighty then, folks. Let's get to this first episode. Episode 17, Waiting for Insane Wayne. All right. Now, this was directed by the stunt director and stuntman extraordinaire Craig R. Baxley. He was the director of this episode. And it says, on the way to a psych exam, the A-team stop in a small town and Murdoch is confused for an insane Wayne. Surprise. A rich rancher wants a squatter off his land, so they take the rancher's money, $100,000, and decide to help the squatter. Cool. And like I said, Baxley directed, Frank Lupo and Stephen J. Cannell, of course, wrote, but also Bill Nuss helped them out in the writing of this episode. And as usual, you got the cast of characters: George Papard as Colonel John Hannibal Smith, Dirk Benedict as Lieutenant Templeton Faceman Peck, Dwight Schultz as the Captain Howling Mad Murdoch, H.M. Murdoch, and of course Mr. T as B.A., also known as Bad Attitude Baracus. Okay, we're going to take a look at 2. We've already seen Red West, and I believe we also talked about Anthony James. Those are 2 people that are in this episode. But we'll also, this time, we're going to look at 2 people I don't think I've mentioned yet. One is Barry Corbin. He plays J.J. Kincaid. And then the former football player from the Rams, Moosey Dryer, who plays Bobby Sherman. Yep, so we'll take a look at those 2 people. Those 2 actors. All right, so let's take a look at trivia. Okay. At the beginning, when Murdoch is looking at ink blots while riding in the back seat of the van, Mr. T, who's driving, says one looks like a two-headed horse, but he never looked at the ink blot first. Anthony James' third and final appearance on the show. Okay. And Dennis Stewart, who played Kid, played Leo, the guy in the black car with flames, who drag raced with Danny Zuko in the 1978 film Grease. Cool. And both Dennis Stewart, who guest starred in this episode, and George Papard both died within weeks of each other in 1994. Wow, what a shame. Okay. And let's take a look at the goofs. Alrighty. Uh, During JJ's, there's a couple of, first of all, a couple of continuity, and then there's one revealing mistake, one audio-visual unsynchronized, and two character errors. So, let's see here. Okay, so the first one, continuity. During JJ's briefing, which is being held at the 11-minute 30-second mark, Hannibal holds his arms. In the next shot, his arms are hanging out. And after funeral scene, which happens at the 32-minute mark, JJ with his goons drives away. Hannibal stands with a cigar in his mouth and arms hanging loosely along his body. In the next shot, he holds the cigar in the right hand and a 90-degree bent elbow. Also, face changes position between shots from Murdoch to front of him. Okay. In the revealing mistake during the fight with Wayne and his men at the end, one can see that all of the 18 members are portrayed by stunt doubles. Yeah, that kind of bothered me, which is why it's a C grade. One of the reasons. In the audio-visual unsynchronized, during the initial shootout on Sherman's land while behind the tree, Hannibal says to BA, he's reloading. His lips, however, say something else. Okay, and then a couple of character errors. The son, Bobby, was supposed to be a teenager, 15, but he was played by Moosey Dryer, who was 21 at the time and could never pass as someone that young. And when Face and Murdoch are posing as soldiers to stall Wayne and his gang from arriving, Face wears lieutenant bars on his uniform and Murdoch wears the captain bars, the CPT. They're actually ranks, yet Face is giving orders to Murdoch, supposedly his superior officer. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, and there are quotes, but remember we don't do those. And let's take a look, see if there's any filming location. Let's see here. Okay, and there is one. Santa Clarita, California. Yeah, it's a well-known site there in California, well-known town. A lot of 18 episodes were filmed there. And they have an 18 festival every year, believe it or not, guys. Yeah. I'm not sure when it's held, but probably when the show started, more than likely, or when it ended. So, yeah, because there was only 5 seasons. So, yeah, but I mean, yeah, Santa Clarita is a big, huge town for that. All right. Let's take a look at cast and crew. As I said, we got 2 people we'll take a look at. One is Barry Corbin, and the other is Moosey Dryer. So let's take a look at Barry. Okay. Barry Corbin, thankfully, is still alive. He is an actor, producer, and he's worked on additional crew. He was born October 16th, 1940. So currently, he is 84 years of age. So if he makes it to October, he'll be 85. Barry's full given name is Leonard Barry Corbin, and he was born in La Mesa, Texas on October 16th, 1940, to Kilmer Blaine Corbin. His father was an attorney and Texas state senator. Wow. And Alma Corbin, who his mom was an elementary school teacher. And Barry and his wife Jo share a ranch in Fort Worth, Texas. He says when he isn't working, he rides horses there every chance he gets. Well, I guess that's why you would stay healthy, wouldn't you? He's also been nominated for 3 Primetime Emmys. That is awesome. So Barry Corbin. Okay. So in 1980, He was an urban cowboy with John Travolta. He played Bob Davis in that. From 1990 to 1995, he was in that awesome series with Rob. I can't remember his last name, but uh, it did have the other lady who was in China Beach originally. Um, in that, he was Maurice or Mace Mowbray, Maurice Minifield. He was in 110 episodes of Northern Exposure from 1990 to 1995. In the series Lonesome Dove, he played one character, Roscoe Brown, in that miniseries in 1989. He was in 4 episodes of that. And in Tulsa King, the brand new TV series, cable, I watch some recaps of the first 3 seasons, which features Sylvester Stallone as the lead character. He plays Babe in that. That's his name. And he's been in 5 episodes of that series from 2022 to 2023. Okay. And let's see. Last thing currently this year, he worked on a movie. He played the role of Veets in something called Sod and Stubble. And currently, he has 5 projects on the way. 2 are completed. One is called At the Edge of Time, and the other one is El Tonto por Cristo, and he plays Terry Don in that, and Titus in the other film. And he's got 1 in pre-production, 1 in post-production, and the 1 in post-production is a movie short that's going to come out this year called Worst Enemy, and he'll play Jim in that. So that is Barry Corbin. Wow, impressive. All right. And let's see, we'll take a look at Moosey Dryer. And Moosey Dryer is still around, folks. He's an actor, a director, and he's worked on additional crew. He also worked on that series Kids Incorporated from 1984 to 1994. He was born August 6, 1964, in Chicago, Illinois. So currently he is 60 years of age. But next month he'll turn 61. Uh, he's known for Oblivion in 2013, The Chronicles of Riddick in 2004, and The Burbs in 1989. Very cool. Let's see. In Oblivion in 2013, he worked in the sound department. In The Chronicles of Riddick, he worked on additional crew as a vocal actor. That was in 2004. In 1989, in The Burbs, he worked on additional crew. And in 2007, there was a movie called Shoot 'em Up. And in that one, he was additional crew. And currently, the last thing he's worked on was Next Gen. Not sure what that is, but he's done additional voices. He did some voiceovers. That was in 2018. So that is Moosey Dryer. All right, very cool. And Jeff B says A-Team has a great audio intro speaking of earworms. Yeah, it does, Jeff. It does at that. Yes, it does. Very, very cool. Yeah. And again, thank you, Kronos, for being here. Appreciate that. You're a great sponsor of our channel. So are you, Jeff. So are you, Roger. Everybody here. Thank you so much. You're great sponsors to us. I appreciate that. Okay, so let's get to the next episode here. Okay, we'll go back here. All right. So finally, the next episode we're covering from the A-Team is, like I said, Season 4, Episode 18, The Duke of Whispering Pines. And in this one, BA gets the team to help an old girlfriend whose husband is missing. This was directed by Sidney Hayers, Hayers. It was, of course, written by Lupo and Cannell, but Jane C. Ehrlich also helped them in the episode to write it. And let's see. So we're going to look at, let's see here. Okay, so we're going to look at Sheila Wills, who plays Deborah Duke. And she used a different name as Sheila DeWint. And then we're going to look at Michael Bowen, who plays Rusty Blackburn. So cool. Yeah, we'll look at those two. Awesome. And then there's a dog in this called Leo the dog, uncredited. How cute. Okay, and the usual cast of characters. Okay, so let's take a look at trivia. All right. Deborah calls BA Scooter, which was previously revealed to be his nickname in that other episode, Lease with an Option to Die in 1985. BA has swapped his tangle of gold chains for a single chain with a huge gold heart attached. Cool. Alrighty, and let's take a look at the goofs. Okay, first of all, there's only two, and they are revealing mistakes. In the first one, they assemble and disassemble. Disassemble number 5. No, disassemble. Sorry, couldn't resist. They assemble and disassemble the armored van in record time. During the exchange, the van where the gold is supposedly held falls off the bridge due to the weight of the ingots. But it is immediately revealed that the gold is fake. It makes no sense. Alrighty. And of course, no soundtracks. There really wasn't any. I mean, you just had the intro theme and, and then theme at the end. So, okay, let's take a look at filming and production. Okay, so besides that hub I told you about, Santa Clarita, California, where this episode was also filmed, they also filmed it in a town called Piru. Yeah, Piru, Piru, California. Same 4 letters, spelled in 4 letters like that other one that Jamie Summers was in Bionic Woman, Ojai, Ojai. So, yeah, very cool. So, Piru and Santa Clarita. Lovely Santa Clarita. I've been through there. It's very cool. All right, let's take a look at the cast and crew. As we said, we'll look here at Sheila Wills, and then we'll look at Michael Bowen to finish our day. So let's take a look at Sheila. All right, Sheila happily still is around as an actress, and she was born on August 11th, 1947 in Louisiana. So right now she is happily the age of 77, but when she makes her birthday next month, she will turn 78. She is an actress known for Battlestar Galactica from 1978, The $6 Million Man, as I mentioned, in 1974, and The Concord, Airport 79 movie in 79. She was previously married to Hal DeWindt, W-I-N-D-T. Okay. All right. In Battlestar Galactica, she was in Season 1, Episode 2 and 3 of Lost Planet of the Gods. She played Lieutenant Deltra, Deltra, as her pseudonym, Sheila DeWindt, by that name. And in The $6 Million Man, in Season 3, she was in an episode 19, called Love Song for Tanya. And as a sales lady. And then in Season 5, Episode 6, she was in the Killer Wind episode from 77 as Sheila DeWindt as Rhonda. That was her role in that episode from 76 to 77. Okay. Then in Lipstick Camera movie, she was a stand-up reporter in 1994. And in The Concord, Airport 79, she played a young girl under her pseudonym. And previously, here it says she has recently been in a TV series called All American as Miss Marita from 2022 to 2023. 3 episodes of that. Oh, and she did 1 episode in 2022 of NCIS Los Angeles in that TV series where she was Thelma. Cool. So that is Sheila Wills. Sorry. All right. Now we'll look at Michael Bowen. All right, Michael Bowen is still with us. He's an actor. He has also worked on soundtrack. He worked in a movie called House by the Lake in 2017, is displayed here for me. Michael Bowen Jr. is an American actor. He's best known for portraying Nicolas Cage's romantic rival Tommy in the cult classic Valley Girl in 1983, Danny Pickett on the ABC series Lost, and Jack Welker on the AMC series Breaking Bad. Bowen is the only son of beat painter Michael Bowen Sr. and actress Sonia Sorrell, who was the Henius from 1921 to 2004, who was Bowen's first wife. Um, his maternal great grandfather was biochemist Max Henius, that's spelled Henius, a Danish immigrant to America who himself was of Polish Jewish descent. Okay. Michael was born June 21st of 1958. So he's had a birthday, and he is the ripe old age of 67. Very cool. All right. Now, he played Buck, who wanted to F, in Kill Bill Volume 1. Remember him? He was that intern, that head intern guy, that head nurse guy, male nurse. Yeah, in 2003, that yeah, got messed with, uh, by Kiddo. Yeah. He was on The Last House on the Left, and he, in 2009, in that horror film, and he played Morton. He was in Jackie Brown. So actually, he has been in two of Quentin Tarantino's, uh, you know, 10 films, 9 films officially, but Mark Dargis, he played in that in 1997 in Jackie Brown, and in Magnolia in 1999 movie he played Rick Spector. And currently, or lastly, so far, he did Law and Order: Organized Crime. In the TV series, he was a guard for one episode in 2022, and currently in production, he is doing. I think it's a reboot. I hope it's not, but it's something called Matahari, where he plays Mike in that. Right now, that's in production. So that is Michael Bowen Jr. Very cool. And that's his mini bio. All right. Okay, so we are done. Okay. Alrighty. And JPRPH1, John Ponteriero, welcome, sir. Hey, folks, just passing through to share out and leave a like. Thank you so much there, JPR. Hail, JPRPH1. And hello, Daniel's Hot Topics. Daniel, you just made it, but we're just getting ready to finish here. I'm just going to let everybody know what next week's episodes are going to be, and then we're done. Then we'll do our prayer and everything else. So at least you're here for the prayer if you want to be here for that. That's awesome. Okay. And Daniel says, hi, Mike. I got to run quick, but I just wanted to say hi, and I hope you are well. I hope you're doing better than me. As usual, I'm being abused day in and day out. I just saw Fantastic Four first steps, and I loved it. Uh, it made me a big Fantastic Four fan, whereas before the Fantastic Four were just just meh for me. Awesome, dude. I'm glad you got to see it. Don't give us any spoilers, okay? Because Susanna and I are going to go see it on Thursday. So, yeah. Thank you. I'm glad you got to see it, Daniel. Jeff B says, hi, Daniel. And Daniel says, hi, Jeff B. Hello, Jeff. Cool. Okay, so let me just quickly go over what we got for next week. I should have kept that up, but open, but I closed it. You know, it's my dumb brain every once in a while. Okay. Okay, so for season 2 next week, we've got episodes 3 and 4. We got one of the best episodes of season 2, in my honest opinion. It's called A Spy for a Spy, where both Chaos and Control keep kidnapping their spies until there's almost nothing left. And then episode 4 is called The Only Way to Die. Yes, cool. So, A Spy for a Spy and The Only Way to Die is next week. And then we'll take a look here at A Team real quick. Let you know those episodes for next week. All right, and of course, that'll be from season 4, episode 19 and 20. So, we'll take a look at those. And I'll also take a look and see when the 3-part series with my friend Jay and I are going to be. Let's see here. Okay, so next week is Beneath the Surface, and then that's episode 19, and then episode 20 is called Mission of Peace. All right. So let's see. We've got 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yeah. So the trial actually has 3 different titles, and that's coming up in, I want to say, yeah, 3 more weeks, because I'll do, well, 3 more weeks, because I'll do 2 episodes next week, but then I'm just going to do 1 episode to finish out episode 4 or season 4 uh, the following week, and then I'll plan and set it up so that Jay and I can do the 3 episodes for season 5. One is called Dishpan Man. The other one is Trial by Fire. And then the third one is called Firing Line. Those are 3 of the best episodes, in my honest opinion, of the show. But a lot of people have ranked them very low. So I'm very disappointed in that. But I will mention what they voted, for sure. But that will be in 3 weeks. So keep, like I said, keep your notification bell on. Keep your notifications ready. Because when I get to those 3 episodes, I will ask Jay beforehand if he'll help me out, and then we'll do those 3. So, yeah. I think he agreed that he wanted to. So we'll see what happens. Okay. All right. So that takes care of any future episodes there. All right. Daniel says, but I have to say, I am worried for the worldwide superhero movie industry. Haven't you noticed that superhero movies are making less and less all the time? It's sad. The fandom menace is ruining the fandom, right? Menace is ruining Hollywood movie industry and manipulating the audience to not watching the movies in order to bankrupt Hollywood and line their own pockets. Yeah, well, Daniel, unfortunately, that's happening every day. It happens with every genre, not just the superhero films, but also horror. Horror is going that way as well, and some of these uh, documentary type, these mini doc. I call them mini doc drama films, things like that, or films based on a true story. A lot of them are going that way. Even the artsy fartsy ones. Yeah, there have been a few of those too. So yeah, I mean, it's all happening that way. It's sad. It truly is sad. I have to agree with you there. Yeah. Okay, so we're done for today, and don't forget, uh, I may be there for Gorilla's Random Thoughts. His Thursday night stream when he does the next 4 episodes of Twilight Zone, and I know I'll definitely be there for the Waltons on Friday night when he does season 5, episode 5, The Firestorm, where John Boy defends Uncle Adolf's book that he wrote in a Munich Putz, which is known as a prison. Uh, he was at the pub called a Putz, and then he got thrown into a little, you know, Munich jail, and he wrote his MEINKAMPF. Yeah. So I'll spell it out. I won't say it because I don't want to do that. I don't want to get knocked off here. So yeah. So that's coming up this Friday. Very controversial episode, but it got high marks for its honesty and for what it taught and what you could fall into if you get into the wrong party. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we have 8 lights. When I add mine, it'll be 9. Please, if one of you can add your 9th like right now, I can add mine. We'll be like Ancient One says, hashtag 10 like hype. I like saying that. That's kind of cool. And I put it in the comments at the end of the episode, the end of the video, so I can mention it to everyone. So yeah, if we can get to 10, that'd be great. That means the world to me if we can. All right, so I want to thank Daniel's Hot Topics for being here. I want to thank Jeff B also for being here. I want to thank JPRPH1, also known as John, for being here. I want to thank Kronos and his sidekick Max. Thank you so much for being here, guys. And let's see. Also, Roger Blair. Thank you again, Roger Blair, for appearing and being here. Kage Noctum Gaming. And don't forget, he's got a great gaming channel. And everyone here, please make sure that you go to each one's channels and subscribe to them because they have some good content on some of their channels. Well, I know Daniel's Hot Topics is very prominent in the community for supporting us, giving us some information we need based on Hollywood and everything else. So that's very helpful. So make sure you still subscribe to him anyway. That'd be great. Okay, so we got Roger Blair there. We said everybody else. Jeff B was first in the box. So thank you, Jeff. Alrighty. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and do a quick prayer while we still have time. Let's see here. So in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Dear Lord, thank you for this wonderful thing we call social media. Please pray for the people we've previously mentioned, Lord. All of the Holy Trinity, including, like we say, your Son Jesus Christ, His Mother, Most Blessed Virgin Mary, on earth, and in heaven, the Holy Spirit, and of course our patron saints, Saint Suzanne and Saint Michael the Archangel, defender of heaven, and who sent the evil one and his fallen angels to hell. Please have them all pray for us as you do, Lord, every day. Watch over us, keep us from harm. Allow us to have the wisdom to know the right, the difference between right and wrong, and if we have any hurt feelings against anyone, even our enemies, may we be able to repress them or at least keep them to a minimum, so we don't, uh, offend anybody else that we have to in this community, because we love everybody in this community, Lord, as you know. You know our hearts, God. You know how we are. And you know how sincere we are, and what we do feel for bitterness towards those evil people who we offer the other cheek and say, hey, here, kick my butt on my other cheek. But I'll pray for your soul. Yeah. And you know who you are, bad people. Yeah. You know who you are out there. Over 200 people that hate this channel. But hey, can't blame them, I guess. That's their choice. But we do appreciate the 279 that love us and take care of us and support us and always offer prayers. So thank you, all of you, for being here. So in this, we ask and pray in your name, Lord. Amen and amen. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Alrighty. Yeah, so this is going to be a long week. Oh, yes, and all the best to Larry. Yeah, that's everybody in the community, Jeff. I made sure. Yeah, Larry especially. Yeah. Like I said, thankfully, his next appointment, which was supposed to come up this Friday, has been moved to August 23rd. So he does have time in between. He's got some other issues, but yes, hopefully Larry and his wife and Diane, the rest of the family, are going to be doing well in the next month or so. Yeah. So thank you, Jeff. Yeah, thank you for mentioning that. For sure. Okay. We go through our phrases as we always say. My wife always says, leave everything in God's hands. Being a Universal Life Church minister as well as a part of the Catholic Church, very good advice. So, leave everything in God's hands. He'll take care of everything for you. Maybe not the way you might think, but he does take care of things. Also, as my brother Larry of 50 plus years has said, always be yourself. Very good piece of advice. And of course, there was that before I say mine, there was that awesome guy named Gene Siskel, Siskel, who was part of Siskel and Ebert at the movies in the 80s and 90s. He was the perfect nerd, and he was one of my favorite characters on TV. And his family foundation allowed me to say this, and now the aisle is closed. He did that at almost every end of every critique episode that he did with Roger. So yeah, thank you, Cisco family, for allowing me to do that. And of course, as I say here, always expect the unexpected from MikeySuzeFour channel. There you go. Alrighty. Well, if that's everything, we still have 3 people watching. Very cool. We got 8 likes. That's awesome. All right. So if anybody has anything else to say it now or forever hold your peace. Okay. If you have any other comments to make, please make them now, because we do have about 1 minute or 2 left. So, yeah. And while we do that, while we wait for that, let's go ahead and finish out my drink here, because I need it. My voice is just that, it's gone. There we go. Yeah, we get very thirsty around here. Okay. Plus, I'm going to have juice after this. So. Alrighty. Well, if there's nothing else going on, then I want to thank again everybody for being here. God bless you all. Remember, God bless America. God bless Canada. God bless the UK. And one of our best friends, Travel with Lisa MH. Lisa, hopefully we see you in Toronto here later in September. And of course, don't forget, pray for the rest of the world. We only have one, so make sure that you take care of it in your own special way. Recycle, do all the other stuff that you would do. But don't piss off Mother Nature. Worst thing you could ever do, okay? So don't do that. I love saying that, come on. But it's true. And of course, peace from MikeySuzeFour. So on behalf of the wonderful sleeping wife over here, Suzanne, my beautiful sleeping cats, Moon Pie and Deja Vu, our daughters, our fur babies, I want to say thank you all for being here. And as always, we love that you support and us, for the 4 shows I do now every Monday and Tuesday of every week, or at least try to until we're all done with all 4 shows. And we're getting there. It takes time, but we'll get there eventually. And like I said, then we'll go into mysteries right after that, whenever that happens. So we'll just say sometime in the fall, probably more like sometime in the winter time of this year. But hopefully we can get there so we can start talking about mystery shows. That should be a lot of fun. And like I said, I'll have different co-hosts to help me through each different episode type show and the mystery that's covered, because those people will be in the area that I was in when we saw it. So yeah. You know what one I'm looking forward to? This to just give you a hint. Phoenix Lights from March of 1997. I was there. I saw it. Larry was there. He saw it. I'm just saying. The 2 of us are going to be together, hopefully, as host and co-host, so that we can talk about that particular mystery. March 13th, 1997. Should be fun. Should be a lot of fun. Daniel, when can we talk about aliens? We can talk about aliens later on this fall or winter, okay? It will be during that time. I don't know what exact months yet, but as I said, right now, my main goal is to finish these 4 series I do, Mondays and Tuesdays, which is why I do 2 episodes of each, except for TOS, which doesn't need to be done twice. It just needs 1 episode done each time. But I might do 2 episodes. I might start doing 2 episodes of TOS too, to try to catch up. But just know it will be sometime this fall or winter. More likely the winter, okay, Daniel? Yeah. But believe me, you're going to be able to come up with me, because we're going to do, like I said, Phoenix Lights is because Larry was living there in Arizona at the time it happened with me. We both saw it. But with you and I, we might be doing maybe not just aliens, but we might be doing the Bigfoot sightings because there was one near Lake Ontario recently in the last few years. Yeah. So we may be talking about that, Daniel. And you do live in the country, right? So in Bellwood. So yeah, believe me, we're gonna talk about uh, Sasquatches or cryptids or even some alien sightings. We have them here in Toronto. I've seen a few. I've seen a few. Uh, lights in the sky I can't explain. They're definitely not helicopters. They're not airplanes, and they're definitely not you know other forms of aircraft. So yeah, Mikey, I want to give you something that me and Pop Culture Curator talked about. It, the Great Greada Treaty, America's Alien Alliance, stripped. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Thank you, Daniel. So, if I still have, okay, it'll be posted in a live chat replay there, Daniel. So, hopefully, some people will be able to, you know, click on that link so that they can view that on YouTube. Yeah. Thank you. So, Daniel just printed that, everybody. If you're still here or whoever's here to click on that and to watch it. I'll try to look for it myself too. Thank you, Daniel. Thanks for that. Okay, so if there's nothing else, thank you everyone for being here. Take care of yourselves. God bless everybody here. God bless everybody in our continuing family of subscriber members and the community. And of course, we'll see you next time out there somewhere in YouTube land. Take care then.